And
but you're sitting on your buttered
that's when we come back from Kentucky. Moved on Beach Street in Elizabeth. And Betty started going to freshman at Betsy High, and I was going to Harold McCormick. And one day there, I was wanting to go to the show. You get in the show for 9 cents. And of course, they didn't have a car to take me out. I was going to walk to Elizabeth and up there to the Ritz Theater or someplace. And
you probably said, Marty, you'll get on.
And Mama had me a big piece of cornbread there. And I told her to cut the top off. She said, well, really, Bob, this is the bottom I'm cutting off. And I said, well, cut the top off then. And so she cut that, slathered butter, all I kept wanting butter. And I was standing there and she was trying to comb my hair. I just laid my cornbread down on the couch. And she'd help me get ready. And she got to doing my hair. Well, sit down, I can't see all around you. And I sat right on that buttery cornbread.
so who was doing your hair? Was it
Mama?
Your mama? Okay.
Mama was doing my hair.
Hasn't changed much, has it, Bob? I was doing your hair this morning, Mark.
Yeah. Anyway, I said, Mama, I'm sitting on my cornbread. And she said, what? And I said, well, I forgot. And she said, well, you just have to go as you are. And so I did. I just
wore those greasy pants to the show.
Big old slather of butter right on the seat of it. Anyway, yeah, that's. But Betty, I thought she's sophisticated. She started growing up, and she'd have these friends. As a friend of hers next door, Tootsie Bradley was her name, and her and Tootsie would get out in the street and have arguments from our sidewalk to the kids across the street to their sidewalk. And I'd join in with Betty. Betty would say, one thing she said, well, we're rubber and you're glue. Everything you say about us bounces off of us and sticks on you. And just...
That was so clever, you thought I'll use that again sometime.
Yeah. And then I'll tell you this one time, Barney, Betty helped me down and let this little girl kiss me. She held me down on the ground, and anyway, I remember that. And one time I got some honey on Beach Street and poured it in some water, a bunch of honey, and it was a hot day, and I thought, I'm gonna trick Betty. I'm gonna mix this up and tell her it's tea. And so, these are just kid things, I can remember. And I said, Betty, got some tea in here. She's always real reluctant about what I was suggesting.
What you'd fix, probably.
Yeah, she didn't go with it real quick, but anyway, she tasted this sickening old honey water, and boy, she got after me for doing that. And another thing we always had, she always wanted Rice Crispies. They made Rice Crispies that year. I can remember that, and I wanted Wheaties, because Wheaties had an airplane on the box, and I could cut it off. She couldn't stand Wheaties, so it was always a tug of war for us. Me to get Wheaties and she'd get Rice Crispies. We'd always be arguing about that.
And your mom couldn't afford 2 boxes.
No,
sure.
we'd have to switch out. But
you ever watch that Christmas Story at?
Yeah,
that takes you back.
He always said that was like when they lived up north.
We lived in Illinois. Yeah. Yeah, about the same.
But I tell you a funny thing. You know where he goes down to the basement and he's stomping and cursing and carrying on about that furnace. That's one of the first things I remember about Bob's dad when I married in the family at 18th Street. He'd be so mad at me. And you could hear him down there just beating and banging on
That
it.
old furniture, furnace down there.
Yeah, I
He
remember,
did just like that.
I remember fighting that old furnace.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Betty did so many things. You know, when we moved to 1949, Dad said we're gonna move to Illinois.
And one thing too, not changing subject, Bob, but you always felt that Betty was so smart, didn't you?
Oh, she's smart, yeah.
And I think
she'd
that
say
was a
me
little
that-
intimidating to her.
Oh, yeah, she knew everything and I knew nothing. And,
He's told me I was always dumb. She was smart.
she meant well, but she couldn't stand my hoggish way of eating, no couth. But anyway, we were going with
No couth our culture.
J.R. Evans, Mama's sister's husband, was gonna move us up to Pekin, Illinois. That's 10 miles south of Peoria. 1949. We lived in Elizabeth on Broad Street. She hadn't graduated from high school yet, but she was about like a junior or something, you know. And so we left Elizabeth, and Betty left her friend there next door on Broad Street in Elizabeth. But I want to insert this right here. Betty had a friend that lived next door to Granny in Cleveland. Her name was Betty Lane. And her and Betty, my sister Betty and her were about the same age. And she lived there on 18th Street where Granny and Papa lived in Cleveland. And Betty Lane worked it out where she come up to Elizabethton before we moved to Pekin and stayed a week with us for Betty, my Betty. And they'd whisper and do things. They really enjoyed themselves. And I was always, you know, this and that. And Betty Lane says, I bet you didn't know Alan Rocky Lane. I said, I sure do. You ever see him in a movie? I said, oh yeah, he's a good cowboy. Alan Rocky Lane. Now, you remember that name, Jack?
No.
Yeah, he's a cowboy. And I'd go to the cowboy
Was
show.
it kin to her?
She told me it's his brother.
And he believed her.
I believed her, you know. And I was going around bragging up and down Broad Street to the boys. I said, this girl here is Alan Rocky Lane's sister. Anyway, Betty Lane was a lifelong friend to us. But so